Yeah, we can.
Hello and welcome everyone to Arm Wrestling News. Today we have a very special live stream with a couple of special guests. I don't think I have done such a live stream about Asian arm wrestling till now, but this event was so massive, it was so important that we needed to talk about it. And my friend and today's translator is going to be Jung Won Lee. Welcome, brother.
Thank you.
And the guest, the big guest who just won $80,000 prize money. I know you guys cannot believe it, but we are going to discuss that later. Ju Min Kyung is our guest. So, welcome, brother. You are a superstar in arm wrestling, and hopefully, people outside of Asia will also get to know you after this. Welcome, brother.
오늘 굉장히 크고 중요한 이벤트에 대해서 이야기를 할 거고, 원래 이렇게 아시아에 대해서 많이 다루지 않는데, 워낙에 크고 중요하기 때문에, 오늘 이렇게 모셨고, 주민경 선수님 이제 슈퍼스타인데, 이제 한국 밖에서도 더, 알게 되기를 바란다고, 와줘서 이제 반갑다고 이렇게 해요.
아, 저도 초대해 주셔서 너무 감사하다고 전해 주시면 될 것 같습니다.
Thank you so much for inviting him. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I'll ask you two questions first. The arm wrestling scene in Korea, like what does the culture as far as arm wrestling is concerned stands in Korea, and where does he live, then about his own background. But first, starting about arm wrestling culture in Korea and where he's from.
첫 번째 질문은 이제 한국 팔씨름에 대해서 묻는데, 한국 팔씨름의 상태가 어떤지, 한국 팔씨름 문화가 어떤지 뭐 이런 거에 대해서 알고 싶어 하는.
일단은 한국 팔씨름이 한 10년 전만 해도 거의 인기가 없는 스포츠였고, 그리고 하는 사람도 많이 없었고, 그리고 상금 당연히 없었고요. 좀 비인기 스포츠였는데 이번에 오버 더 톱 방송 나가고 팔씨름 체육관도 많이 늘고, 그리고 동호인도 많이 늘어서 수준이 엄청 많이 올라왔어요. 10년 정도 동안. 그래서 지금은 조금씩 인기를 얻고 있는 상황이라고 말씀드리면 될 것 같습니다.
Okay, so he says just about 10 years ago, arm wrestling was not a popular sport. Probably not a lot of people knew about it. And he said, obviously, there was no prize money and just not popular. But I think he thinks that, especially after the over-the-top event that aired, there's going to be a lot more arm wrestling gyms, a lot more arm wrestlers, and he thinks that the level in general is going to go up a lot.
So, when somebody mentions arm wrestling in Korea, so do you guys also get similar comments like, is this even a sport, or do people kind of laugh at it? How is the public reaction when he says to people that he's an arm wrestler?
한국에서 그러면 팔씨름이라고 언급을 할 때, 아니, 예를 들어서 그냥 대중의 아무한테나 나는 팔씨름 선수다 이렇게 말을 하면은 반응이 어떤지. 왜냐하면은 이제 주로 이제 프로디비 알기에는 뭐 웃거나 그 진짜 직업이야 이런 반응인데, 비슷한지 한국에서도 그렇게 물어보는.
일단은 팔씨름 선수라는 직업을 굉장히 생소하게 생각하고, 그리고 프라딥이 말한 것처럼 되게 우습게 생각하는 사람들도 많이 있었어요. 그런데 오버 더 톱 촬영하고 나서 인식이 엄청 많이 바뀌어서 이제는 한국에서 팔씨름 선수라고 하면은 다들 어느 정도 인정해주는 분위기고, 스포츠로서 슬슬 자리를 잡아가고 있는 상황입니다.
Okay, so again, he basically agrees with you that before you would get those reactions where it would be like almost a weird thing, and people wouldn't necessarily see it as a like legitimate sport. But after the over-the-top event, he thinks that it's getting a lot more recognition, and the perception is changing where it's respected as more of a actual and legitimate sport.
Yeah, we'll talk about the over-the-top event, but before that, can you ask him like what is his age, like height, weight, physical stats, and what does he do for a living?
Okay. 일단 주민경 선수님 나이랑 키, 그리고 몸무게 뭐 이렇게, 그리고 또 될 수 있으면은 뭐 전완근 뭐 상하 이런 것들에 대해서 좀 알 수 있는. 네.
키는 182, 그리고 몸무게는 평균 체중 100kg였는데 지금은 벌크업을 해서 한 108kg 정도 증량한 상태고요. 상완 사이즈는 7 정도 되고 전화는 39? 그 정도 나오는 것 같습니다.
그리고 죄송한데 나이는
아, 나이는 96년생이에요.
그러면
6살.
26?
네.
Okay. So he's 26 years old. His height is 182 centimeters. His weight is it used to be around 100 kg, but now he's bulked up and he's about 108 kilograms. And he also told us his biceps are 47 centimeters and forearm is 39.
Okay. And brother, can you also tell us about yourself? Like we have seen you in some videos. I think one of the video went viral as well. I saw you in one viral video. Can you tell us about yourself? And I'm asking you, like, what is your arm wrestling background and why are we here?
Wait, who are you talking to?
I'm talking to you. I'm talking about you. No,
Okay.
as I said, yeah, as I said, we have to guess. No, you're not just a translator here.
Um, okay, 뭐 저에 대해서 얘기를 하라고 저희 물어봐서.
네.
Okay, I mean, I don't know what viral video you're talking about, but oh, actually, I do know what viral video you're talking about. I started arm wrestling like 2 years ago. I think I came across Devin Larrett's videos, like the one where he was arm wrestling Shaq, and then the one where he arm wrestled a football player and stuff like that. And I was like, wow, like how can someone get so strong in that position where like people can use two hands and you still can't beat them. And so that kind of like intrigued me. So I just started watching tons and tons of videos. And, like I like to think of myself as kind of like very similar to you because I'm like a big like nerd arm wrestling, like watch all the videos. I used to comment first on every Neil pickup video. And but recently I've moved to Toronto and they have a really awesome club here, the Table Monkey. So I've been training and learning from them for like a year now.
Okay. Okay. So let's talk about the tournament now. First of all, tell us, like, was it a weight category tournament? Where was it held, and when did the idea for it start? Like, was it aired on television? As much as he can tell us about the tournament, then I'll ask more questions about it.
그 이제 그 오버 더 톱 토너먼트에 대해서 그 좀 더
네.
알려줄 수 있는지 뭐 그 체급이 있었는지 뭐 어떻게
음,
시작하게 됐는지 이런 거에 대해서 그 물어봐요.
아, 일단은 한국에서 팔씨름이 유명하지 않아서 이제 방송사 측에서 우리나라에서 누가 제일 센지, 누가 제일 팔씨름 잘하는지 이런 컨셉으로 방송을 시작하게 됐고요. 그리고 토너먼트 같은 경우에는 예선전부터 전 경기 체급 없이 그냥 우리나라에서 누가 제일 센지 이게 주제여서 체급 없이 진행했습니다. 그리고 촬영 기간은 한 4개월 정도 돼서 2주 간격으로 시합이 계속 있었어요.
Okay, so they didn't have any weight categories the entire time. And it was filmed across 4 months, and about every 2 weeks they would have a competition. So that's how it was structured. And he talks about how this show got started. He said the idea was basically that to figure out who the strongest is in Korea. And since arm wrestling is not a big sport, it's not like people already had a sense of who the strongest are. So it was more like the question of who is the strongest like arm wrestler in Korea, and the whole like theme of the show was to figure out who that is. Yeah.
Okay, so was it a tournament style? Like you mentioned, a couple of weeks, one event happened, and it continued for 4 months, I think you said. So was it a tournament style or something like top eight where they had 3 stages? What was the format?
그 2주간에 한 번씩 있다고 언급을 하니까 그 포맷이 토너먼트인지 아니면은 뭐 어떤 형식인지 그 뭐 톱베이처럼
아,
비슷하게
네.
진행이 돼서 그런 거에 대해서 물어보는.
그 예선전은 저희가 500명에서 시작을 해서 그래서 더블 엘리미네이션으로 100명까지 추렸어요. 그런 다음에 100명에서는 싱글 토너먼트, 그러니까 1대1 단판 매치로 50인, 그 다음에 50인전에서는 이제 팀전, 팀 데스 매치로 또 절반, 그리고 또 한 번 이제 지목 매치. 부수를 뽑아서 순서대로 나와서 앞선 번호가 이제 지목해서 하는 방식으로 16명이 가려졌고 16명부터는 토너먼트로 진행됐습니다.
Okay. So at the beginning, they started off with 500 entries, and that was like the prelims, and they got down to 100 people. And I think 그 100명까지 추리는 게 더블 엘리미네이션이었나요?
네, 100명까지는 더블 엘리미네이션이었고
네,
100명부터 1대1 매치.
Okay, so they had a double elimination tournament to get down to 100 people, and then once they got to 100, they had a one-on-one matches. So that then they cut it to half. So now there's 50. And then after that, they had team matches. And then that cut it down to half again. And then after that, they had this format where you can call out another person, and then these two would have like I think like a 3-round match. And then finally they got to 16 people, and then from there they would have a tournament where it would be like top 8, where they would have a little like 5-round super match within the draw. But so basically there was like a bunch of like different formats and little like how should I say, like not conventional like stuff, probably to make it interesting for TV and stuff.
Yeah, so you just answered it. So was it aired on TV, and where did the majority of the people watch that event?
그 TV에 방송이 됐냐고 물어봤고, 또 그 대다수 사람들이 어디서 이 오버더톱 접할 수 있었는지 그 물어봤어요.
한국에서 제일 유명한 방송사인 JTBC에서 매주 화요일마다 방송이 됐고요. 그리고 방송이 끝나면서 유튜브에 계속 경기는 업로드가 됐었어요. 그래서 방송을 놓친 사람들은 대다수 유튜브로 시청했습니다.
Yeah, so it was aired on TV. It was on the biggest TV network in Korea, JTBC. Every Tuesday, it would air, and also the matches would go on YouTube afterwards. So people who missed the show would be able to watch it there.
JTBC, you said, correct?
Yeah.
I'll mention it in the chat if anybody wants to watch it. So whose idea was this? Was the TV crew behind this mixed format idea? Because I'm sure they cannot do that just by themselves. They must have taken the help of the senior arm wrestling community in Korea. So whose idea was that? Did you guys they approach the TV guys, or they already had their idea? What was the deal there?
When you say idea, do you mean like the format? Like
the format, yeah, format.
그 제가 이렇게 포맷을 언급했잖아요. 이렇게 막 다양하게 뭐 팀전 이런 식으로. 네, 그거 누가 생각한 건지 그 팔씨름에
네, 방송사 측에서 결정한.
Okay, the TV network side decided it. And I'll ask about if they ask for any like help on. So 그 팔씨름에서 경험이 있는 분한테 이렇게 조언을 얻은 게 있나요? 그 방송사 측에서?
네. 그 방송사 측에서 처음에 이 프로그램을 만들 때 대한팔씨름연맹에서 자문을 구해서 처음부터 끝까지 대한팔씨름연맹에서 자문을 해줬습니다.
Okay, so they from the beginning they reached out to like the Korean Arm Wrestling Federation, and they had their help the entire time while they were making it.
Okay. And there was a question, ask him if he's a fan of BTS, which I'm not sure about. What is BTS?
누가 챗에서 BTS 팬이시냐고, 뭐 방탄소년단.
저 방탄소년단 팬이냐고요?
네.
방탄소년단 당연히 팬이고, 한국 사람이라면 모두들 방탄소년단을 자랑스러워 한다고 말씀해 주시면 될 것 같습니다.
He says, of course, he's a fan, and if you're Korean, you're all proud of BTS.
Okay, this was a question in the chat, and 44% stronger is saying I watched the show and I was very pleased about the format, very good for new fans and people who have no idea for the sport. And I also saw in that there were multiple camera angles and the production quality was really high. The replay was kind of cinematic in a way, you would say that maybe some of the hardcore fans would find the format too much, but for the newer audience, which was obviously the target audience, I think the production was absolutely awesome. So tell us something about the prize money of the event. Like, how was it decided? Because $80,000, it almost seems like impossible. Like it sounds too good to be true. So what was the deal there? $80,000 prize.
그 상금에 대해서 그 좀 말해달라고 하는데요. 그 뭐 지금 일단 그 달러로 그 8만 달러 뭐 이렇게 얘기하고 있는데 너무 커서 거짓말인 것 같은데 이게 어떻게 이렇게 된 건지 물어보는.
일단은 대회 주최 측이 방송사다 보니까 방송사에서는 사실 한 회 제작비만 해도 2억, 3억 이렇게 들어간다고 들었거든요. 그만큼 한국에서는 예능 프로그램이 활성화가 잘 돼 있어서 시청률도 잘 나왔고 그리고 그래서 1억은 한국 방송사에서는 그렇게 불가능한 돈은 아니라고 말해주면 좋을 것 같습니다.
네.
이게 한국에서 다른 서바이벌 프로그램, 예능 프로그램에서도 거의 그 정도 상금은 나와서.
So he says that because it's run by these TV networks, and they have a big budget, and he's heard that every episode of this show Over the Top, it's probably cost like 200 to 300,000 to make, and they had good like viewing numbers. And he says that just in general, like in Korea, they have like a pretty like well developed like entertainment like TV industry, and other shows like other like survival shows or whatever, they also pay out a similar amount. So it's not such an impossible figure. That's what he's saying.
Yeah. And I apologize if you answered that already. Maybe I missed it. Like, what is his profession? Did you answer that question? And please ask him again if you did. If you didn't ask him. And how did his life change after winning that $80,000 prize money?
지금 직업이 어떻게 되시는지, 그리고 또 그 상금을 타고 나서 또 그 어떻게 삶이 달라진 게 있는지.
일단은 저는 오버더톱 방송 당시에는 대학생이었는데 지금 대학교를 졸업한 상황이고 그리고 아직 상금은 들어오지 않은 상황이에요. 그래서 상금이 들어온다면 아마 인생이 조금 바뀔 것 같기도 하고, 지금 제 직업은 이제 방송에 나왔던 이제 지현민 선수랑 2등 했던 지현민 선수랑 그리고 김태인 코치랑 함께 팔씨름 체육관을 운영하고 있습니다. 지금 체육관 아니라서 이따가 한번 보는 시간도 가지면 좋을 것 같아요.
Okay, so while he was competing in Over the Top, he was a college student, but now he's graduated from college, and he says he hasn't actually received the prize money yet. But he thinks that when he does, his life will change for sure. But he says right now for his job, he runs a arm wrestling gym, actually together with Ji Hyun-min, who he faced in the final. He's like also a top arm wrestler in Korea, and another Kim Tae-in, who's a top 80 kg arm wrestler in Korea. And he says that it would be nice. He's in the gym right now, and he'd like to like show us around later if there's a time.
Yeah, for sure. We would love to see that. Yeah, we'll talk about his match. That was an awesome match. I almost got the memories of maybe not so much Michael Todd versus Jerry, but it was kind of similar way he was pressing and the other guy. Okay, maybe you can talk about it. The final match, had he faced the opponent, of course, if they kind of lived together, they must have faced before as well. What was his record against his opponent before, and what was his expectations going into that final match?
그 파이널이 너무 그 명경이었고 거의 뭐 마이클 토드, 제리 캐돌의 약간 비슷한 그런 느낌을 받았다고. 그리고 또 그 지현민 선수 상대로 그 많이 그 경기를 해보셨는지, 그리고 또 해봤으면 전적이 어떻게 되는지 이렇게 물어봐.
지금 일단 제 앞에 지현민 선수가 있고요.
네.
네. 일단은 지현민 선수는 항상 무제한급 선수였고 저는 경량급에서 활동을 하다가 차츰 체급을 올려서 시합에서 만난 지는 한 3년 정도 됐어요. 그래서 3년 동안 3번 정도 만나는데 3번 다 제가 졌었습니다. 그리고 마지막 파이널 매치를 좀 준비를 오래 해서 좋은 결과가 있었던 것 같아요.
Okay. So he says the other guy, Xiaomin, he's with me right now. And he mentioned that he used to be a lightweight arm wrestler while Jianmin is super heavyweight. So they had only started facing each other when he was gaining weight about 3 years ago. They started facing each other, and he says they've pulled a total 3 times, and he's lost all 3 times in the past. But he prepared really hard for his final match, and he was able to get good results. Yeah.
Yeah, that was an amazing match. And Ju Min Kyung won that 3-0 if I remember correctly. Guys, it was just like a flop press. He was good in a hook as well. I think one match went in a hook as well. All of them were long wars, fouls and everything. So he was basically trying to top roll and Ju was controlling him without his wrist. And then he shoulder pressed him all 3 times to the pad. It was an amazing match. Maybe I'll link it in the description after that or in the comment section. You should definitely watch it. What was the biggest prize money that he won before this event?
이번 그 대회 전에 가장 큰 그 상금이 얼마였는지, 가장 크게 타신 상금이 얼마였는지 물어보네.
2022년 그러니까 작년 10월에 인도네시아에 열렸던 국제 대회가 있었어요. 거기에서 제가 그때 5,000달러 받았던 게 가장 컸던 상금이었던 것 같습니다. 그리고 한국에서는 상금이 그렇게 큰 대회가 열린 적이 없어서 한국에서는 거의 많아봐야 1,000달러 정도였는데 제가 처음으로 국제 대회에서 5,000달러 한번 받고 또 이번에 오버톱에서 더 큰 돈을 받게 된 거예요.
Okay, so he says that it was October of 2022. He went to
인도네시아.
Indonesia to pull in like an international event, and he won about $5,000 in prize money. But he also mentions that in Korea there's not really been much prize money, so he thinks that the most he's ever won was maybe like $1,000 up to this over-the-top event within Korea.
Okay. And which part, like where is the location where he lives in Korea?
그 한국 어디 사시는지 좀.
지금 체육관도 서울에 있고 사는 지역도 서울입니다.
He lives in Seoul, and his gym is also in Seoul, the capital city.
Okay, so it's the main city. Okay, got it. There was one question he's saying, I do remember that in one of the polls, Ju Min Kyung was polling contender, and before pinning him, he said, "Here I go," and then he pinned him. He said it was to avoid injuries. So what do you think about that? And the second, wait, the second part of the question is, now the question is, were there any injuries in the show? If yes, were they shown on TV?
오버 더 톱 그 대회 중에 부상이 있었는지 아니면 있었으면은 그 방송에 그거를 보여줬는지 물어보네.
그 오버 더 톱 촬영 중간에 제가 인도네시아 대회를 다녀왔는데 인도네시아 대회에서 손목 쪽에 경미한 부상이 있었어요. 그런데 방송에서는 이야기하지 않았고 그리고 부상이 금방 나아져서 지금은 무리 없이 활동하고 있습니다.
그 다른 참가자들한테 뭐 예를 들어서 뭐 팔이 부러진다든지 뭐 이런 식으로 막 큰 그 부상이 있었나? 그 경기 촬영 중에.
촬영 중에 큰 부상은 없었고 그냥 가벼운 부상 정도, 큰 다른 부상은 없어서 안전하게 촬영했습니다. 그 촬영장에 응급 대기진이 항상 있었어요.
Okay, so first he mentioned that with himself, he actually went to compete in Indonesia like in between filmings, and he had a small tweak in his wrist, but it wasn't mentioned in the show. But I think I probably like didn't get the question across, so I asked him again, and he said that in terms of the overall like filming, there wasn't any big injuries. There may be some small tweaks, but yeah, but there was also like a medic team on site and stuff, so it was fine. Yeah.
So basically, there were no arm breaks and stuff. I think that's
No.
what the viewer was trying to ask.
No.
Yeah. Okay. So fresh as a daisy is saying translator is doing a great job and he has a great hair game. Okay. So any news or information about season 2, and I want to know when is he getting his money, like is any date fixed, and question about season 2, when it will happen.
그 시즌 2에 대해서 시즌 2 언제 나오는지 그 궁금하고 또 돈을 언제 받으시는지 그 날짜.
아, 돈은 아마 다음 달에 받을 것 같고 시즌 2는 지금 논의 중에 있다고 생각하는데 아직 확실하게 결정된 건 없어요. 그래서 앞으로 할지 안 할지도 아직은 명확하지 않은 상황이고 그냥 시즌 2가 나오면 어떨까 지금 다들 이렇게 예상만 하고 있는 상황입니다.
Okay, so he thinks he might get his money next month. And about season 2, he says that they're in discussions about it, but it's not even confirmed whether there will be one or not at this point.
Yeah, I guess it will depend on the viewership and the sponsors' interest after the first show. 5-star review, someone is saying. And was it open to the world? Like, was it worldwide or just for Korean nationals?
그 전 세계 사람들한테 열려 있었는지 아니면 한국인들만 그 참가할 수 있었는지 물어보는.
일단은 한국에 거주하고 있는 사람 전부 다 참여 가능했습니다. 그래서 한국에 거주하고 있는 외국인 선수들도 몇 명 나왔는데 네, 토너먼트 가기 전에 모두 떨어진 걸로 알고 있습니다.
Okay, anyone that was living in Korea at the time was like able to enter. So there were a few non-Korean nationals who did compete, but he thinks that they all were like eliminated before the tournament. Like I think like the main stage.
So my question was if let's say Devon Larrett or someone else or Michael Todd, these famous names, anyone decided or got to know that there is $80,000 prize money, if they decided to go there, move there a week or two before, would they have been competing in this tournament?
그 지금 질문이 그러면 예를 들어서 데본 라렛이나 뭐 마이클 토드처럼 세계적인 선수들이 이게 $80,000 상금 있는 걸 듣고 한국에 가서 막 한 2주 있다가 그 대회에 참가할 수 있었는지 그거에 대해서 물어봅니다.
한국 아마 거주하고 있는 그런 시민권이 있어야 참가가 가능하다고 알고 있었습니다. 그리고 하루 만에 열리는 토너먼트가 아니라 거의 4개월 동안 2주에 한 번씩 그리고 촬영은 거의 일주일에 한 번씩 진행돼서 아마 와서 하기가 좀 어려웠을 거예요.
So I think 그러면 뭐 비자 뭐 이런 게 있었어야 되는 거.
네네네 비자. 네 한국 비자.
Okay, so he thinks that they probably needed to have some sort of visa, like to be a resident in Korea and not just visit. And also, again, the filming took over the course of 4 months and every 2 weeks. And he says in terms of like the shooting of videos and stuff, it was almost every week, so it would have been hard for someone to do that, basically.
Okay, got it. Can you name some of the popular arm wrestlers from Korea? I remember I follow one guy, his YouTube channel name is like Korean Arm Wrestling Champion. I forgot what his real name was, like he has 80,000-90,000 subscriber. So first of all, who does he think is the true number one in Korea right now? Does he consider himself as number one, or is there any other contender that may be even better than him? And I would say maybe 5 popular names from Korea.
일단 첫 번째로 지금 한국에서 그 넘버원이 누군지, 그 본인 자신을 생각한지 아니면 다른 그 경쟁자들이 있는지, 그리고 또 한국에서 유명한 팔씨름 선수 한 5명 정도 그 이름을 알려줄 수 있는지.
일단은 지금 저랑 결승전에서 만났던 지현민 선수가 4년 정도 한국에서 한 번도 지지 않아서 통합 랭킹 1등을 지금도 유지를 하고 있어요. 그래서 지현민 선수가 지금 한국에서는 좀 최근에는 계속 1등이었고 그리고 백성열 선수가 그전에는 한 8년 동안 1등 그리고 홍지승 선수가 80kg 이하 체급에서는 거의 10년 넘게 1등을 하고 있습니다. 그래서 지금 웬만한 강한 선수들은 전부 다 오버 더 톱에 다 나와서 오버 더 톱에서 활약한 선수들이 아마 한국에서 제일 강한 선수들일 거고 안 나왔던 선수들은 없었던 것 같아요. 거의 다 나왔었던 걸로 기억합니다.
Okay, so he says that the puller he faced in the finals, Ji Hyun-min, he's been basically for the past 4 years he hasn't lost within Korea, and he's still ranked number one in the overall rankings in Korea. And I think the guy you mentioned, the Korean arm wrestling champion, the YouTube channel, his name is Paek Sung-yeol, and he was overall ranked number one for about 8 years before Ji Hyun-min in Korea. And also there was Hong Ji-sung, who is also a big like YouTube personality. He's been ranked number one at 80 kg for about 10 years. And he mentioned that all of them were in the over the top tournament, and basically every like famous arm wrestler was participating. So you would have seen them in the tournament. Yeah.
Basically, all the top guys were there. That's what he's saying. And
Yeah.
there is one channel, I think Silvis is the name of the channel, and that guy went to, I think it was Malaysia, Malaysian Open, where he was doing grip stuff with everyone. Is he also Korean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, okay. What is his name?
Uh, Hong Ji-sung, the grip video with like Levon and
Yeah,
Vitaly.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Hong
He's very
Ji-sung.
like cheerful, happy guy. Very
Yeah.
energetic. So okay. I had one question. I remember him having a very close match with Hong Ji Seong. After winning, he had an emotional reaction. He was crying. So he was his mentor. He's asking his opponent. I also saw. I think in this tournament, a couple of matches, he was like very emotional after the match ended. So can you tell us something about that?
그 주민규 선수님 일단 홍지승 선수하고 경기를 한 후에 굉장히 이렇게 감정적인 모습을 보여주셨는데 뭐 홍지승 선수가 뭐 멘토였는지 뭐 어떤
일단은
네, 소리가 있어요.
선수가 대한민국에서 거의 최초로 방송에 나와서 한국 팔씨름을 엄청 많이 알려준 선수예요. 그래서 저도 어렸을 때 홍진경 선수 방송을 보고 팔씨름을 시작했었는데 그래서 홍진경 선수랑 개인적인 친분도 있고 그리고 홍진경 선수가 저한테 어떻게 보면 멘토 같은 존재여서 그래서 좀 감정적으로 하지 않았나 싶습니다. 그리고 홍진경 선수가 16강전에서 저랑 만나서 떨어졌는데 사실상 실제 실력은 우리나라에서 거의 세 손가락 안에 꼽힌다고 생각을 해서 좀 거기서 떨어지는 게 너무 아쉬워서 울었었던 것 같아요.
Okay, so first he mentions that Hong Ji-sung is one of the first people to get on TV in Korea and really like popularize the sport. And I think he was kind of viral by going on a show, and basically people were able to like know that arm wrestling is a real sport. And even Min Kyung himself, when he was young, he watched Hong Ji-sung, and basically that's why he started arm wrestling. And he looks up to him, and he also has a friendship with him. He's friends with him, and so he does kind of see him as like a mentor figure, and that's why he was emotional. And also, they met in there's 16 people, and he knows that in terms of like Hong Ji-sung's capabilities, he's maybe like in the top three in his opinion. So he felt bad that he was getting eliminated at that stage where he thinks that he should have gotten further, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. And after his final victory, after he won, he was very emotional. We clearly saw that. Was it just because he had like won? Winning was a big deal for him, or does he emotionally invest himself into arm wrestling so much that maybe he was not able to control his emotions there? Like, how does he take arm wrestling? Is it like a real good, like Engin Terzi level passion for him, or like what was the reason for that emotion after the final?
그 파이널을 끝나고 나서도 또 굉장히 감정적인 모습을 보여주셨는데 이게 그냥 단순히 승리를 했기 때문에 그렇게 느끼신 건지 아니면 팔씨름에 대해서 이렇게 뭐 애정이나 이렇게 패션이 있으신지 아니면 있으시면 어떻게 팔씨름에 대해서 어떻게 생각하는지 이렇게 물어봤어요.
그 처음에 질문해 주셨을 때 한국에서 팔씨름 선수라고 하면은 대부분 좀 무시하고 인정하지 않는 경향이 있어서 그런 것들이 좀 쌓여서 서러움이 좀 그렇게 표현이 됐던 것 같아요. 그리고 단순히 이겨서 기쁘기보다는 물론 이겨서 조금 기쁘기도 했지만 그냥 그동안 좀 무시받던 한국 팔씨름이 좀 대중들한테 알려질 수 있는 좋은 기회가 된 것 같아서 그런 것도 기쁘고 좀 그동안 서러움이 쌓여서 그렇게 했던 것 같습니다. 그리고 당연히 열정이나 이런 것들이 저도 많이 있어서 네, 단순히 기뻐서 온 것은 아니라고 네, 전해주시면 될 것 같습니다.
Um, okay, so
있어요.
네.
아니에요.
um, so as I mentioned before, if you introduce yourself as an arm wrestler in Korea, there is a lot of basically disrespect where people don't really like recognize you as a legitimate athlete and just arm wrestling as a sport itself. So he has had a lot of frustration and just pain, basically from those experiences where it's built up within him. And he was also obviously happy that he won, but he's also really passionate about arm wrestling, and he was really happy that after all those years of being basically looked over, that it is finally becoming a mainstream and a popular sport.
Yeah, after this over the top event, and fortunately, hopefully, if it happens one more time, I think that thing will be gone. It won't happen anymore. And East Side Arm Wrestling was asking, hey Pradeep, did you learn about the Korean OTT competition from my Reddit post? I check Reddit every now and then, but actually Jungwon Lee was in touch with me about this tournament for almost 3 months now, I guess, and he was giving me all the updates. And in fact, he was the one who offered me to have this interview, and there is no way I can say no to such an opportunity. Good exposure and different audience. Hopefully, this interview gets at least 2-3 thousand views, so it will be good that the Korean arm wrestling is getting exposed in the English speaking audience as well. And we'll try to extract a clip or two out of that as well. And maybe he can share some part of it or something on his channel as well. Does he have a Instagram? Or Instagram, obviously I've shared it in the link in the description, guys. I forgot to mention, please follow both of our guests from the link in the description on Instagram. Does he have any other platform like YouTube channel or Facebook or anything?
그 주민규 선수님 그 소셜 미디어 뭐 유튜브, 페이스북 이런 계정이 있으신지?
네, 있어서 예. 자주
그러면
활동하.
네, 그러면 혹시 뭐 되시면은 그 유튜브에다가 뭐 작은 클립을 올려주신다든지 뭐 이런 거에 대해서 언급을 했어요. 네.
앞으로 유튜브로 조금 활동을 계속 할 예정이고요. 그리고 인스타그램이랑 페이스북은 안 하는데 인스타그램에서도 계속 활발하게 활동을 할 예정이라서 많이 관심 가져주시면 감사하겠습니다.
He has a YouTube. He plans to be active on YouTube as well as Instagram. Yeah.
What's the name of the page? YouTube.
유튜브?
Yeah.
유튜브 이름이 그
그 팔씨름 국가대표 주민경 한글로 치면 나오는데
어,
So we won't be able to type it in English, I guess.
영어로
아니면
칠 수 없냐고.
링크를 그러면은 여기 보내드려야 되나?
Okay, it's in Korean. It's basically his name in Korean, but he says he can send a link.
Okay. We'll add it in the description after the interview is over. Can you ask him if there is a reason I never seen a South Korean puller in WAF? So I've seen multiple times that South Korean arm wrestlers participate in IFA, but is there any WAF competition as well in their country?
그 WAF 그
네.
대회 한국 선수들이 왜그 챗에서 한국 선수들을 왜 본 적이 없는지 물어봤고요. 프라딥이 그 IFA에서는 많이 봤는데 WAF에서는 본 적이 없어서 그게 무슨 이유가 있어서 그런 건지 물어봐요.
어, 아직 한국 선수들이 세계 대회로 나갈 기회들이 많이 없어서 나가지 않았던 것 같고 그 점에 대해서는 저도 잘 모르겠지만 일단은 앞으로 팔씨름 인기를 더 얻고 국가대표 선수들이 많이 생기면 대회에서 한국 선수들을 많이 볼 수 있을 거라고 생각을 합니다.
Okay, so he says that there hasn't been a lot of opportunities for Korean pullers to go compete in international competitions. He's not sure about the WAF IFA thing, but he thinks that if there are more national level pullers, we'll get to see more Korean pullers internationally over time.
Yeah. So he just sent me a link of his channel in Zoom chat. I was not even aware of this feature that you can send links in Zoom chat, but somehow he knew about that, and I've already shared it in the link in the chat section of this video, guys. So please give him a subscribe. That was awesome. So is he planning to compete overseas now? Like if he gets some invitations from other leagues outside of Korea, is he planning to move there, and what would be his ideal place or event to compete at?
그 한국 밖에 해외 대회에서 그 참여하실 계획이 있는지, 그리고 뭐 어디서 그 초대를 해준다면은 어디 주민경 선수님이 생각하기에 이상적인, 예를 들어서 뭐 리그라든지 뭐 대회라든지 이런 게 어떤 대회를 가장 나가고 싶으신지.
일단 한국에서도 요즘에 이스트 웨스트 엄청 인기가 많이 있어서 나중에 그런 대회에 나간다면은 언제든지 초대해 주시면 나갈 의향이 있고, 그리고 저뿐만 아니라 한국에도 기량이 좋은 선수들이 되게 많아서 선수들이 열정도 있고 하니까 어느 대회든 초대만 해준다면 한국 선수들이 나가서 활약할 수 있도록 제가 또 한번 말을 해보겠습니다. 그리고 저도 어느 대회든 나갈 의향이 있습니다.
제일 원하시는 거는 이스트 웨스트.
이스트 웨스트 대회가 지금 가장 핫하니까 거기에 좀 관심이 생깁니다.
Okay, so he right away brought up East versus West, and he says that that's also very popular in Korea. But he also says that he's open to compete anywhere, and he's willing to travel and compete anywhere. And anytime that anyone wants to invite him, especially East versus West, he'd happily compete. And he also mentioned that there are other high caliber pullers in Korea that he thinks that will be a good match in these organizations.
Yeah. In the future, I think we are about 4 or 5 years from now where every high talent from all across the world will be invited to these big events. But for now, I think 3 important things that can get you on any card if you're famous and if your level is high is, first of all, a good YouTube, Instagram page, and the ability to understand and speak English. That's most important. So can you ask him if he will be willing to work on it? Can he learn a language like English if he wants to be a full-time arm wrestler in the future, if he wants to get multiple invitations every year? I think English may be a good skill set to learn.
일단 앞으로 한 5년 후에는 프라딥이 생각하기에 뭐 전 세계에서 이제 탑급 선수들이 다들 이런 곳에서 이제 경쟁할 기회가 있을 것 같고, 그 대신 이제 이런 곳에서 초대를 받고 이걸로 전업을 삼으려면은 프라딥이 생각하기에 일단 뭐 유튜브, 인스타그램처럼 이제 소셜 미디어가 좋아야 되고, 그리고 또 영어를 할 줄 알아야 된다, 이렇게 말했어요. 그래서 주민경 선수님이 영어를 배우실 생각이 있는지, 이렇게 전업 선수를 하기 위해서
아직 영어를 유창하게는 못하지만 영어를 배울 의향이 충분히 있고, 그리고 앞으로도 한국에서도 팔씨름이 점점 대중화되면서 한국 선수들이 해외로 나가기 위해서 영어 공부도 하고 소셜 미디어도 열심히 할 계획이라고 저는 알고 있어서 조만간 해외 대회에서 한국 선수들이 많이 모습을 드러낼 수 있을 것 같습니다.
Yeah, so he says yes. He says his English is not very good right now, but he's definitely willing to learn, and he knows that a lot of Korean pullers are planning on building their social media and learning English to go out to these international competitions, and he thinks that we will see a lot more of them in the future because of that.
Yeah. if he needs any help with doing these interviews or getting in contact with any other arm wrestler, then I think he can for sure get that. You can ask me as well. I'll try to help him as well. Like if we mention the channel name in community post, I think he can maybe get 100 subscribers from that. And if he does that like interviews on multiple channels, I think it will be a good place to start. And can you understand a little bit of what we are speaking in English even now?
어, 일단 만약에 뭐 채널을 홍보한다든지 아니면은 다른 팔씨름 선수나 아니면 뭐 그 팔씨름 운영하는 예를 들어서 뭐 앵긴터지처럼 이렇게 그 컨택을 하고 싶으면 그 프로딥을 통해서 하시면 그 프로딥이 충분히 도와줄 수 있고 만약에 원하신다면 그리고 또 이제 다른 채널에서 뭐 인터뷰 많이 하시는 것도 도움이 될 것 같다고 말했고요. 그리고 지금 영어를 얼마 알아들으시는지 저희가 말하는 거 알아들으시는지 물어봤어요.
어느 정도 영어를 알아들을 수 있고 그리고 말하는 것도 뭐 유치원생 수준 정도로는 말을 할 수 있어서 어느 정도 의사소통은 가능합니다.
Okay, he does understand a bit and he can also speak. So yeah, he can do like basic, he can get by, I think, yeah.
Okay, next question in English for you, no translation. Five
Okay.
five favorite arm wrestlers. Your favorite arm wrestlers.
In the world,
Yes, in the world.
에브게니 프르닉,
Okay.
데본 라렛,
Never let it.
사슈 안드레,
Soshu Andre, okay.
라이언 보엔,
Amazing, interesting. Okay.
네, 라이언 보엔, and 존 불쟁크.
John Brasink at the last. I think he wants a match against Ryan Bowen. That's why he mentioned it. Can you ask him why did he mention that name and like what was the reason for that? Does he want a match against Ryan?
그 라이언 보은 선수랑 매치를 원하시는지 라이언 보은 이름을 왜 꺼냈냐고.
마이너스 78kg 2위에 지금 김태인 선수가 있는데 김태인 선수가 작년에 호주에 가서 라이언 보엔 선수랑 연습도 하고 라이언 보엔에 대해서 되게 좋게 얘기를 많이 해줘서 그리고 라이언 보엔 선수랑 저랑 만약에 하게 된다면 좀 재밌는 매치를 할 수 있을 것 같아서 제가 세계 대회 첫 목표가 라이언 보엔 선수라고 말씀해 주시면 좋을 것 같습니다.
Okay, so he's calling out Ryan Bowen. Okay, not really, but he's calling out Ryan Bowen. He first mentions that Kim Tae-in, who's like the number one, or not number one, like number two 80 kg guy in Korea. He visited Australia, I think a few months ago. He trained with Ryan, and he's heard a lot of good things about Ryan through him. But he also mentions that he thinks that him and Ryan would be a great match, and in terms of his first international competition or super match, that is his goal right now.
Yeah, and it is easy to make fun of someone, but I think Ryan is great. He's managing his YouTube really well, and many of the arm wrestling countries where the talent is not that high. Like for example, I can name my own country. Maybe Ryan beats everyone in my country. I can think of one only, Mazahir Saidu, who lives in Dubai. Maybe he can beat Ryan. It will be a close match, but other than him, Ryan will beat everyone in India. So his level is not that bad. Of course, if we look at the elite level arm wrestlers of the world, Ryan wouldn't stand a chance against the top guys of that weight category, around 100 kilos. But Ryan is still really good. So does he think he can beat him right now? Because they're about the same weight now. Ryan has also gained. He has also recently bulked 105 kilos. What does he think about that match? It will be a good clip. That's why I'm asking more questions about this topic.
일단 그 보엔 선수에 대해서 좀 인터넷에서 약간 놀리고 우습게 보고 이런 것들이 좀 있는데 그거에 불구하고 이제 보엔 선수 굉장히 강하다고 프로딥이 일단 말했고요. 그 다음에 이제 그 보엔 선수에 대해서 이제 sorry, what did you ask if he could beat him?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. 보현 선수 상대로 해서 그 이길 수 있다고 생각하시는지 뭐 얼마나 자신감이 있는지에
음,
대해서 물어봤어요.
어, 일단은 라이언 보엔 선수를 저는 한 번도 우습게 생각하거나 그런 적은 없고 그냥 항상 너무 유튜브 영상 잘 보고 있고 그리고 라이언 보엔 선수가 90kg급에서 지금 증량을 많이 해서 엄청 강해지신 걸로 알아서 만약에 붙게 된다면은 같이 감량을 해서 한 95kg 정도 체급에서 붙게 된다면은 충분히 승산이 있다고 생각합니다.
Okay, so I first mentioned that to give some context, I mentioned that like yeah, like Ryan Bowen is sometimes made fun of, and but he straight away said that he never thought of Ryan that way or has seen him that way. He just watches his videos and thinks he's great. And he mentioned that Ryan has gained a lot of weight and has gotten a lot stronger recently. But if they meet at a catch rate of like 95, um, 95 kilos, that he thinks it would be a great match and he thinks he would have a great chance. Yeah.
Okay. So maybe I don't think Ryan is willing to cut weight right now, but I think he can get down to 100 kilos. That is what's possible. And Ryan has his own event now. I think Arm Fights Unleashed or AWC something. It was the name of his event, and he's inviting Chan Shaw over. So please mention the Chan Shaw match that he's flying him over there to have a match with him. So maybe if he like, I think those things are needed for him right now, like a YouTube channel, an Instagram page, and a little bit of English so that he can talk with people and hype up the match. So I think he can get invited by Ryan to compete in Australia.
그 보엔 선수가 직접 지금 운영하는 그 프로모션이 있는 걸로 알고 있고 프로디 말로는 그 챈스 쇼 선수
네.
그를 지금 초대해서 그 보엔 선수랑 이제 매치를 할 건데 그 챈스 쇼 선수랑 같이 만약에 그 주민규 선수가 이제 소셜 미디어 잘 운영하시고 뭐 영어 배우시고 이렇게 다 갖추신다면 이렇게 똑같이 그 이런 기회를 예를 들어서 보엔 선수가 초대를 해줘서 매치를 한다든지 뭐 이런 기회가 있을 거라고 이렇게 말을 해달라고 합니다.
어, 앞으로 영어 공부 열심히 해서 그런 초대에 응할 수 있도록 열심히 준비 한번 해보겠습니다.
Yeah, he says he's gonna work hard at improving his English and be ready for those invites in the future.
Yeah, Unidentified X with a $10 super chat. Thanks, brother. Thanks for the big support. Ryan Bowen is closing the gap with Lachlan from what I have seen. Did he watch Ryan's recent practice with Lachlan Adair? Because about 1.5 years ago, or 1 year, 3, 4 months ago, Lachlan was beating Ryan like easily. But this recent practice, I don't know if it was 100% real because we don't know how Lachlan Adair was feeling at that time. But Ryan Bowen was beating like very easily beating Lachlan Adair. Is he aware of that Ryan is improving really fast?
그 라클렌 어데어 선수 아시나요? 그 어떻게
네, 최근에 이기는 거
네,
많이 봤어요.
최근에 어떻게 생각하는지 이렇게 많이 그 세진 것 같은데 보은 선수가. 네.
너무 많이 세진 것 같아서 리스펙하고 그리고 제가 작년에 김태인 선수한테 들었던 것보다 훨씬 기량이 많이 올라서 엄청 대단하다고 생각합니다.
Okay. He noticed that Ryan seems a lot stronger now, and he respects like the progress a lot, and he seems a lot stronger than what he had heard from Kim Tae-in like the year before. So yeah, that's what he thinks. He thinks he's gotten stronger. Yeah.
Yeah. And first step towards the English learning process could be following some YouTube channels. Does he follow any English speaking YouTube channels or any other channel worldwide, like international channels?
영어를 배우는데 이제 첫 걸음이 이제 그 유튜브를 보는 거일 수 있다고 했는데요. 그 유튜브 채널 그 영어 쓰는 유튜브 채널을 그 구독하시는 게 있는지 아니면 뭐 예를 들어서 팔씨름 채널 그 보시는 게 있는지 유튜브로 주로.
라이언 보엔 채널 제일 많이 애청하고 있습니다.
Okay, he watches Bowen the most. Yeah, he loves Ryan Bowen's videos.
Okay, that's good. That's good to hear. So let's talk about some of the international events. East versus West, he mentioned that he's following that. So what is his favorite match on 21st of January? East versus West 6.
그 이스트 웨스트 그 시청하고 계시다고 들었는데 이제 이번 21일 날에 그 열리는 그 대회에 대해서 제일 그 좋아하고 이제 기대되시는 매치가 무엇인지 거기서.
그 있잖아. 정글쟁크랑 그 옹갈
이라
바이브랑 마이크 톳. 옹갈 바이브 마이크 톳.
So what is his prediction about that match? Who is going to win? Why?
거기서 예측을 누가 이길 거라고 생각하시는지 그리고 왜 그렇게 생각하시는지.
저는 옹갈 바이브가 이길 것 같고 그 이유는 2015년에 옹갈 바이브가 한국에 와서 한국 모든 선수들을 홀딩해주고 갔어요. 그래서 한국 대부분 선수들은 옹갈 바이브의 팬이 많은 것 같습니다.
Okay. He thinks Angarbai will win, and his reason is that in 2015 he visited Korea and he came and basically held every Korean arm wrestler on the table and then left. So it's left an impression, and a lot of Korean arm wrestlers are a fan of him after that. Yeah.
He ask him, can't Michael Todd do the same? Does he think if Michael goes to Korea, he cannot hold everyone like just like Ongarbayev did?
그 마이클 토드 선수도 똑같이 할 수 있지 않냐고 물어본.
하정우 선수한테 장기전 맞는다고 얘기될 것 같은데 본 적이 있었어.
그거 근데 그 거기서 한 거잖아.
미국에서 한국에서 했어.
그 마이클 토드 선수랑 한국의 하재용 선수랑 아놀드 클래식에서 만난 적이 있는. 하재용 선수가 거기에서 좋은 모습을 보여줘서 저는 옹갈바이브 선수에게 한 표를 주고 싶습니다.
So you probably know him, Pradeep. The Korean Hulk.
Yeah.
He had a good match with Michael Todd at Arnold's in 2017. I mean, Michael beat him, but so yeah, he thinks that still Angarbai would win. Yeah.
Okay. And I'd like to ask his rankings in the world, top 5. Who does he think are the top 5 arm wrestlers in the world, right-handed, super heavyweight?
지금 세계 랭킹 무제한급에서 탑 5가 어떻게 되는지.
일단 무조건 첫 번째는 당연히 레반 사기나시빌리 선수고, 두 번째는 제일 어려운데 제 생각에 자우르. 그리고 세 번째가 가스파린. 그리고 네 번째 비탈리 랄레틴.
So Levan, Zaur, Hermes Gasparini, Devon Larratt, Vitaly Laletin. Devon may have to gain weight. Like, does he think Devon right now is only 115 kilos? He think he can still be top 4, number 4, or he needs to gain weight, like get back in 128 kg shape?
그 대본 언급 안 하지 않으셨나요?
네, 대본란에서는 체급을 낮춰서 언급을 안 해.
4위까지밖에 안 하셨죠?
4위가 비탈리 랄레틴, 그리고 5위는 아직 언급을 안 했습니다.
네, 그 갑자기 대본이 4위, 비탈리 5위 이렇게 얘기를 해버려서 프라집이.
예.
So he didn't mention Devon. He said Vitaly would be number 4. Yeah.
So who was the fifth guy then?
He hasn't said fifth guy yet. He was just going on.
Okay.
저 누구라고 하셨죠?
라이브.
실라이브. 오케이.
Okay, Dimitri Silaev. Got it. Okay, good. And Artem beat Dave. Got it. Good. So any final things that you guys want to add before we wrap this up? We have almost been 1 hour in this live stream.
이제 마치기 전에 또 하고 싶으신 말이라든지 하고 싶으신 게 제가 물어볼까 그 짐 보여줄 수 있는지
짐 한번 둘러보고, 그리고 하고 싶은 말은 이제 한국에서도 팔씨름이 엄청 인기가 많이 있어서 점점 한국 선수들 기량도 많이 올라가고 있고, 그래서 앞으로도 아시아에서 팔씨름이 조금 인기가 없는데 앞으로는 한국 팔씨름에 그런 관심을 많이 가져주셨으면 좋겠고, 그리고 앞으로 한국 선수들이 세계대회에도 많이 출전할 계획이니까 세계대회에서 만나면 반갑게 인사해 주시면 감사하겠습니다.
Okay, so first he would really like to show you around gym.
Yeah.
And also for his like final remarks, he talked about um that arm wrestling is not very popular in Asia, but it's becoming more and more popular, and the level of Korean arm wrestlers are going up, and they will be in the international stage and international competitions. And when you see us, or when you see the Korean arm wrestlers there, he hopes that you'll I don't know, greet them nicely. Like basically, he's saying that we'll be there. Yeah, yeah.
I would love to see the gym right now. I think we all are ready.
Okay.
Okay, so there's the medals there, trophy.
Trophy. 음.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 arm wrestling tables. 8.
6, I think.
Here is the Korea number 1. 지현민. Yes. And Kim Tae-in.
Hello, brother.
Hello. Yes. Yeah. Our team.
So, do you also like act as a coach? Do you train them, or is it just like a gym where people can pay fees and join to work out?
그 혹시
뭐라고?
코칭 트레이닝도 하시는지, 아니면은 그냥 그 멤버십 내고 여기 와서 그냥 그 사람들이 그냥 개인적으로 하는지, 아니면 그 선수 코치 해주시는지.
멤버십도 있고 지금 1대1로 한국에서도 코칭을 많이 하는 편이라서 지금은 코칭하는 사람들이 한 20명 정도 됩니다.
So they do have like a gym membership there basically, but he's also coaching a lot, and he's coaching one-on-one about 20 people right now.
20 people, yeah. So that's a good career. I think if 20 people are interested in coaching, so do they take online coaching, or do they personally visit his gym?
온라인 코칭 안 하고, 그리고 짐에서 1대1로 수업 한 번에 한 1시간에서 2시간 정도 진행하고 있습니다.
Okay, he doesn't do online, and then he does in person about an hour to 2 hours a time in person. Yeah.
If 20 people are coming to his place like physically for getting coaching, I think it is already a good start. Like the sport is already big there, I guess.
그 20명이 이렇게 직접 방문을 해서 코칭을 받을 정도면은 벌써 이제 좋은 시작으로 그 체육관 하신 것 같고, 뭐 그 팔씨름, 한국에서 팔씨름도 굉장히 뭐 큰 것 같다고 이렇게 말했습니다.
예, 앞으로 점점 더 인기 많아질 것 같다고 생각합니다.
Yeah, he thinks it'll get even more popular.
Yeah. And Joo-min Kyung, brother, I wish you the best of luck. You are still really young, like a younger brother, only 26 years old. And I hope you, when you get your money, $80,000, you invest it well. And I hope you make it a good career out of arm wrestling. And I wish that you do not have to work on any other job or anything stuff. Like it seems like a bright future. You're willing to learn, and I think it can be good for you in the future. Arm wrestling only. And thanks Jungwon Lee for your awesome support. Like you were relentlessly like giving me feedbacks, and that was amazing support that I don't think I deserved from you, but you still helped me a lot. So thanks for you, brother. Thanks.
No problem.
Thank you very much, guys. Again, I will, for one more time, I've already linked the channel of our guest in the description as well, and I'll paste it here as well. At least 100 subscribers we need to give it him. When is the next video uploading, brother? On YouTube, next video time.
그 주민규 선수님 다음 그 동영상 언제 올리시냐고 유튜브에.
아마 대로 계속 저의 훈련 영상이라든지 아니면 Q&A 영상 같은 거 올릴 예정이니까 많이 봐주셨으면 좋겠습니다. 감사합니다.
네. Okay, he says he's gonna upload some training videos, answer some questions, and he thanks you for having him. Yeah.
Okay, if he wants any clip from this interview, I can send him the file. Maybe he can cut it off and upload it on his channel because it contains Korean as well, so people would understand.
그 인터뷰 영상 클립을 원하시면 이렇게 보내드릴 수 있다고 하네요.
네. 보내주시면 감사드리겠습니다.
Yeah, he would like that, and yeah.
Thank you everyone for the awesome live stream. Over 50 people kept watching it through till from the beginning till the end. Thank you very much, guys. Awesome live stream.